So there's a lot of rumors and speculation that Apple's about to announce a brand new iPad Pro sometime at the end of March. We don't know exactly when or if it's going to be delayed because of the coronavirus, but there is a new iPad Pro coming out this year. They're saying the design is going to look a lot like the previous one, and I'm okay with that because this is still a very nice design. A lot of the improvements come down to the hardware. They're saying that this will be the first iPad Pro to have a mini LED display. That's a big deal because mini LED is a nice evolutionary step from LCD. It's not OLED, it's not micro LED, but a nice bump up from LCD. With mini LEDs, you get a lot more smaller backlights that can be controlled granularly. This allows you to control the black levels, so you'll get a lot deeper blacks than you did with previous LCD technology. They're not going to be as organic as an OLED display, but what you will get is a higher peak brightness. With more lights in the background, the screen will be able to get brighter. Now here's something interesting. They're planning to bring the camera experience from the iPhone 11 or 11 Pro to the iPad Pro. A lot of people think it's going to be 3 lenses. I have a feeling it's going to be 2, just like the iPhone 11. I know people scoff at this and find it funny when people take pictures with their tablet, but I disagree. I think it's kind of a good thing. Like, think about it. You're in a meeting, you need to take a picture of the board, or you're in class and you're typing notes on your computer. Instead of pulling out your phone, taking the picture, then airdropping it to your iPad, you can simply just get your tablet, zoom it up to 2 times, take the picture, and it's already on your tablet. Another situation is if you're taking a picture of an object. Like, because the viewfinder experience is so much bigger, lining up your shot and getting proper composition will be a lot easier on a tablet than it would be on a phone. Right now, the A12X is more powerful than the brand new A13. The hardware inside of here is so ahead of its time that makes me think the A13X or A14X, whenever it comes out, is going to be miles ahead. The software that the iPad uses today is really not pushing the hardware inside of here. But Apple wants to keep ahead of the curve. They want to make sure that the best hardware is there to push developers to create software that'll take advantage of it. With the iPad becoming more like a traditional desktop in terms of the type of applications it could use, having the best hardware is very important. That means more RAM, better pencil support, the list goes on. To be honest with you, all the upgrades in the world to the brand new iPad are not going to make it great. What's going to make it great is the new features that come with the next version of iPadOS. iPadOS in general has kind of been very limited. Don't get me wrong, Apple's been doing a better job every single year of opening it up a little bit more, but if they truly want this to replace most people's computers, it needs to be more like a computer, having the ability to do things a lot more openly. Because the way I find it right now is that I have to adapt the way I work to appease the iPad. Whereas on a traditional desktop, I find that however I use the computer, it responds to me accordingly. Like iPadOS, the previous version, they did open up the file system, allowing you to access your files a lot easier. And I think Apple's going to continue to do this with every iteration. Like, for example, the new smart keyboard that's rumored to come with it might include a touchpad. Now, I don't think we should be moving over to a touchpad for it, but there are some applications where the mouse or the touchpad in general will make a lot more sense. I think you can get around it right now with the pencil or using your finger, but sometimes you can be more efficient using a touchpad. The cool thing though is that the keyboard is also going to get an upgrade. Like, they're going to put backlit keys, it's going to have scissor switches exactly like the MacBook Pro 16. It's just going to be a better typing experience overall. So here's what's truly going to happen. iPad Pro 2020 is going to have amazing hardware. We all know that. But the thing is, the iPad Pro 2018 still has amazing hardware. And the hardware inside of here is not being pushed by the software that's currently being used. It's going to offer little reason for people to upgrade. What it really truly comes down to is what Apple does with the next version of iPadOS. They have to create the proper APIs, open it up enough for developers to create feature-rich applications that mimic desktop versions. It doesn't need to be like the desktop version in terms of the experience. It can have its own iPad take on it, but it needs to be just as feature-rich. If they can do that, I fully think Apple will be pushing the iPad Pro way into the future, and it's going to be a time where a lot of people will start thinking on whether they should buy the latest MacBook Pro or iPad Pro instead. I also think it gives a good reason for Apple to push their ARM technology. We all know eventually they're going to be moving to ARM, and if they can show people on the iPad Pro that they can do the exact same things on a MacBook Pro, it's going to convince a lot of people to buy this instead. And then there's gaming. Like, streaming right now is becoming so popular, and with the ProMotion display being at 120 Hz and the hardware inside of here being able to support it, this is already becoming one of the most popular and best gaming devices you can buy. Anyways, I'm excited to see what Apple does. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.